Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is another paid request. This time for WSC Capital LLC. They did not mention their real name. Maybe they want to be anonymous on that. That's perfectly fine. This person was very, very generous through the PayPal, so I highly thank them for that. Thank you so much, and I will do my best. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or reactions or commentaries or topics or whatever it may be, feel free to send it directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now I do remember I reviewed this once a while ago, about a year or two ago, but because I used footage, it got blocked after like 2 months of being up. So that's why I don't... That happened to a lot of videos from a year or two ago, so that's why I don't use a lot of footage now. It was like literally the trailer here with no audio. And it's fine until like 2 months later and then it's blocked. But whatever. The Midnight Meat Train. This is a story... It's based on a Clive Barker story. It's directed by the guy who did Versus, which I enjoyed. Very crazy, confusing, but high-energy martial arts film. No One Lives, which is a film I didn't mind. I liked the lead actor, and it was this crazy killer going up against these other type of criminals. Evil versus evil type of story. The lead actor of that did a rather good job. Godzilla Final Wars, which I enjoyed for its batshit and energy, although there's a lot of things that would have changed. There's a lot of fights, but the fights are very short. So Godzilla kicks a lot of ass. You want to see Godzilla kicking ass, Final Wars does it. Just the fights are so short because he fights so many. But then the director also did Downrange, which was a very, very lame sniper movie, in my opinion. And to me, that's the director's worst film, but this one... Like I'll say, I like Versus, I like No One Lives, I like Godzilla Final Wars. This, I've never been a fan of. I know this has a cult following. I know there's a lot of people who find it underrated. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube who like the film. And if you do, that's cool. To each their own. We all have differing opinions. I've never cared for this film. This is a movie that does have energetic style. The director is very good at that. There's a fight between your lead, Bradley Cooper, and your villain, Vinnie Jones, in a subway. And the director does a thing where it goes, the camera goes outside of the subway, then back to inside, then outside in a circular fashion, with a camera, like there's no barrier going in and out, circling this fight that these two are having in the subway car. That's a very cool looking shot. Nice camera work. And certain angles, camera movements. There's a person that gets their head cut off, and we see it from their point of view as the person's attacking, and the same point of view, the head flops and is on the side, and then the camera pulls out of the eyeball, and we see the disembodied head, which is a practical effect. The director knows how to shoot some very neat-looking visual aesthetics. But that cannot save a limited, lacking story, dull dialogue, uninteresting characters, and very badly done computer-generated gore. I guess at the time there's this big controversy that it was supposed to be in more theaters, but then I don't know if it got shortened into limited theaters because they wanted The Strangers to come out and eat up more of the box office. Maybe there's a change of regime where the new people that came in, their film with The Strangers that they were promoting, and they want that. And this film, it was an R-rated cut version and very limited release date, and people were upset. Clive Barker was upset. It's like, you know what? Oh well. Because I don't like the film. Now, like I said, it stars Bradley Cooper, who was in the Hanover films. He's the voice of the Raccoon and Rocky Raccoon, Guardians of the Galaxy films. He was in an underrated film I like called Limitless. And I don't mind Bradley Cooper as an actor, but his character isn't much in this. He's a photographer. He goes to Brooke Shields from the Blue Lagoon. And she goes, I want you to take more pictures that are more grim and more dismal and more grimy. Can you do that for me? So there's a point where he sees this girl ready to get assaulted, and he stays there taking pictures for a while. But he ultimately does go, hey! And the hoodlums come up. Oh, by the way, you're on camera, so you can't attack me. But granted, there could be hoodlums that go, I don't give a shit. Boo, 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 boo. Fuck you, Roger Raccoon. Fuck you and fuck that camera. I still don't take this bitch. I don't give a fuck. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're crazy. Maybe like, hey, tan the camera, bitches. Cheese. Deuces, bitches. I'm gonna put your head on the pavement, Bradley Cooper. Your brain's gonna be limitless. So you think. Until there's nothing in your fucking head but a goddamn empty skull that gonna use as a candy bowl. See, you don't know how crazy these hoodlums are, but he assumes that. And I would think that we would see this Dane again. The Dane would be, hey, I remember you, motherfucker. And tries to beat up Bradley Cooper. Like, that would make sense. Like, okay, you set this up. They leave. They're cautious. But then they're in that territory, so they'd be on the subway again. And then maybe they mess with Bradley Cooper. And then there's the killer. He's trying to warn them. But then, the killer, Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones from X-Men 3. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. But no, the Dane never comes back into play. And there's not much to talk about with this photographer. He has a girlfriend. He's a vegan at first. And then he starts having these nightmares. Nightmares of the train, before he's been on that train. Nightmares of Vinnie Jones, before he knows about Vinnie Jones. Because of, I guess, destiny. Or fate. And it's very, very vague. And there's a lot of very, very convenient things. I guess to the point of this was, I guess, always meant to be for him. Here's the thing about this. Yeah, it has gore. But the gore isn't even that well done, in my opinion, because it's goofy looking CGI gore. Like, there's a woman, the woman that Bradley Cooper saved, she gets on the subway, Vinnie Jones comes up, hits her, and very cartoonishly the head goes this. Goes like this. Very unreal, like just, it looks goofy, it looks off, you know it's computer enhanced. It takes you out of the movie. Then there's Ted Raimi talking with a girl and a guy, chattering about, I don't know, a threesome, something like that. So Vinnie Jones, he has his mallet, steel mallet. He bashes Ted Raimi in the head. Yes, Ted Raimi, the brother of Sam Raimi. Ted Raimi, the guy who is Henrietta, the female Deadite in Evil Dead 2. I'll swallow your soul. Swallow this. That's Henrietta. That was played by, in makeup, it was Ted Raimi. But anyway, he's in this. When Vinnie Jones hits him in the back of the head, the eyeballs pop out like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. You know how a cartoon saw a girl back in the day and the eyes pop up? Kind of like Jim Carrey's The Mask. When Jim Carrey saw, as The Mask, saw Cameron Diaz and the eyes bug out. Must be that, but with a little bit of blood and just bad CGI. And looked ridiculous and goofy. And then it's followed up by a cool shot of the woman point of view and the head and the neat camera techniques. Now, like I said before, when that camera follows the POV, then it pulls out of her eyeball, and you see a practical head. And then Vinnie Jones is a character that kills people on the subway train. He takes their teeth and their fingernails out, hangs them upside down like meat in a butcher shop. Ready for Rocky Balboa to punch and box. That's done practically. Not too shabby. But that's not enough. Those little bits are not enough to save this film. It's a film that, honestly, this should be a short film. Just the investigation isn't that interesting. Really isn't that interesting at all. And the characters, why should I care about Bradley Cooper? There's nothing interesting. There's nothing unique. There's nothing... The dialogue is dull. The conversations are dull. What? He is slowly changing so that at one point he eats some meat. He keeps having nightmares. At one point he's attacked by Vinnie Jones, but you know something's more off because he's left alive, which there's no way he would have been. He's got scars on his chest, like some type of ritual, but in the vaguest of terms. Or he likes to butt fuck his lady and then get vicious and she's crying about it. Great. He's a massive angry butt fucker. And he cries when he's taking photographs of his girlfriend. I guess he's remembering other shit. This movie needed someone like Larry Cohen. And I'm showing this film because this is more my type of film. This is a film that is not gory, granted, but the ambulance, and I don't know why, because I think of two films where you have a guy who's caught up in this conspiracy, and this one involving people being taken in an ambulance, and Midnight Meat Train, people being killed in the subway. It's a regular guy who has a specific profession. Here he's a comic book artist, and that Bradley Cooper's a photographer. But I was just looking on it and I saw this. I'm like, you know what? This has interesting dialogue. This has interesting characters, like Eric Roberts and James Earl Jones, a cop who you find out was almost a suicide case and is always chewing this gum. Like this weird tick that he has. And you get well done action sequences as well. But even like Megan Gallagher as the female police officer, the way the dialogue is written, like Larry Cohen in this or To the Winged Serpent or other movies knew how to write dialogue for characters. So that when the action and the horror or thriller aspects are not on screen, you're still intrigued with the movie. Same with, say, John Sayles when he wrote Alligator. It was an alligator film. But you like Robert Forster, whether the running jokes about his hairline and people keep commenting about it, or his fun banter relationship with this woman that he falls in love with, or this little backstory about what happened and what happened to his former partner. It makes the characters that much more interesting, fun to hang out, listen to, got a bit of either charisma or personality or something in between. You get none of that from these other characters. Other than a vegan and a photographer, name something else about this character. Name any bit of dialogue that these two share. So the only thing you're looking forward to is the subway scenes. And those are hampered by bad CGI. Rampage Jackson, which is funny because Rampage and Bradley Cooper would be in the A-Team movie later, he's fighting Vinnie Jones, giving a little bit of run for his money, and lo and behold, the conductor is involved with this conspiracy, shoots Rampage in this overblown blood CG cartoon, out the eyeball CG, blood CG. It just looked so fake and phony and crappy that either you laugh at the overblown quality of it, and if people enjoy that, okay. Or you like me, you know, just looks stupid. And so when that's not happening on screen, what else do you have? Not much. And I mentioned conveniences. Okay, early on, after Vinnie Jones does one of his deals, he comes out of the subway, he goes up the escalator. When he pops up, right then and there is Bradley Cooper. He just happens to be sitting at the right spot, at the right time, where it could have been anywhere else in the city. He was at the right spot, at the right time. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, that one time, sitting down, and then just out of the blue, he did not see Vinnie Jones at this point in dreams. He just saw a subway. And you just see Vinnie Jones just starts taking his picture. takes his picture. Walks up behind him. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to take your picture. And then when he's in his lab, he notices the ring. And then on an old photo with the woman that disappeared, so it wasn't her, it was something else. It might have been I forget, it was another thing. Oh, he knows there's an older picture with that ring as well. I'm like, that's such the loosest, most convenient thing that, you know. Maybe if the movie was entertaining me and I was really enjoying the characters or their dialogue or anything in between, maybe I would let that go, but it's a very convenient film. Just like spoilers, the spoilers from here, super spoilers, so be warned, starting now. The first cop he goes to show pictures just happens to be the cop who's in with this conspiracy as well. How convenient that the first cop he went to just happens to be the same cop who is with this conspiracy as well. What if he went to another cop? What if he went yesterday or 2 days from then? Would that same cop have saw him, said, I will take him? Is every cop involved? It just happens that one cop is the same fucking cop who later on is with the conspiracy. And what is your conspiracy? I'll get to that, because it's just... It takes a walk off the pier with that. And again, he kills Ted Raimi, kills the girl, I mentioned that, the POV. Vinnie Jones fights Rampage Jackson. Bradley Cooper keeps getting nightmares. Follows Vinnie Jones, follows him to his actual job at the meat market. And it's just him showing the change of Bradley Cooper. He gets more obsessed. He gets more crying, taking photos. I guess this is the part we're supposed to be intrigued by the character. But no, I didn't find intriguing. It just made me like him less and less. Oh, he's a vegan and he eats meat. The turd. Oh shit. He's not a vegan anymore. Oh shit. Holy shit, balls of fire. He ain't a vegan anymore. Is that why he's taking pictures of his girlfriend crying? Or maybe he's thinking she's Amber Heard. And that's why he's crying. Fucking Amber Heard. Don't shit in my bed, please. She's not Amber Heard, so you don't have to worry about that. And he sees killings in the subway at one point, and he's caught. And you can tell some things come at him that sound like creatures, so you know there's something more going on. And then the fact that he's left alive, because you know this guy would not leave anyone alive with the way he operates. And then he's got these markings on the chest. You already know, if you see enough movies, there's going to be some more up shit creek. And then you have a scene that really led to nowhere. It was the woman and this other guy, which I barely remember seeing the guy before. Well, that's not true. The diner and stuff, that's not true. It's just that all I can say is the other guy, because I can't tell you 3 things about that character. But him and the girl are looking at Vinnie Jones' apartment, seeing things we already know, and then the guy gets fucked up and the girl runs away. Now, of course, that's where around the time you also find out that one cop, female cop that Bradley Cooper saw earlier, she's in on it too. So then one thing leads to another. The girlfriend's on the subway. Bradley Cooper, dressed up a bit, jumps on the train, CGI background, ready to kill the girlfriend, and Bradley Cooper goes, hey! And I would say probably the best part of the movie is the fight between him and Vinnie Jones. Because of the way it's competently edited, because it's a fight, there's not a whole lot of like crazy overblown CGI gore. The CG that's used helps the film. Like, of course it's CGI used when the camera goes out of the subway and then in, but that's CGI being used efficiently for the scene. That I don't mind. That's a proper usage of it. And it made it much more interesting, energetic, It was a cool little fight. Bradley Cooper has like a knife. The other has a mallet. A certain body gets gutted. That was all done practical. Like, that fight is the best part of the movie. And people don't get mad about this. If this was about some serial killer without the whole conspiracy thing, I think it would have been a better movie. This crazy ass fuck. And you could maybe do a satire, if I learn how to talk, about how the city doesn't care about its citizens. Or they're so incompetent, they're so busy with the streets that they don't care about what's happening in the subways. Or they're not paying attention. Or, I don't know, some type of... I just see like Larry Cohen or someone else doing a bit of making fun of some type of aspect that could be incorporated in that. But instead, they think they kill Vinnie Jones, and the subway track stops in this area where there's all these creatures, and the conductor says, like vague hints, we need to feed these creatures, otherwise they will go up to the surface. And I'm thinking, you're telling me not one or two or three of these fucking creatures going up to the surface? You're telling me not a single fucking one of them has ever gone up to the surface? Not a single one. Because it looks like there's 1,000. But you're telling me not a single fucking one? And there's no way to stop them, no way to kill them. What really are they? It never goes into any of that. Some would say it's better with no explanation, but it just leaves a lot more questions. Why is there's no way to kill them? Are they supposed to be H.P. Lovecraft from another dimension? Are they... How is it that every single one of them has stayed underground? Not a single one of them has gone up top? Not a single one? And what if they do? What do you do then? Call the Ghostbusters? Call the Chuds? Well, they would be the Chuds. And because of this thing on his chest, the conductor's able to pick him up, rip his tongue out. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought you would die if you get your tongue ripped out, but I guess not. I guess I'm so used to movies doing that. There's a lot of movies that have done that, where a tongue gets ripped out, then they're dead. I just because I think massive blood loss, but no, just not in this instance. And I guess as part of the ritual, the conductor kills the girl and takes the heart out. And then shows it him and then goes, tell you say, it's time for you to serve like the rest of us. So by ripping the heart Kano style, Mortal Kombat style, and you present it, you will now lead, you will now serve. What next? Does he have to eat the heart like Jason Goes to Hell? Is that supposed to break his mind? So now or because the symbol's on his chest, he's possessed? Is he possessed by the devil? Is he possessed by the heart? Is he possessed by, I don't know, the fucking exorcist? Is he possessed by, I don't know, Damien? Is he possessed by Elf from Melmac? I don't know what the fuck he's possessed from. But he's changed, and now he's the new bad guy. Killing people in the subway to feed these creatures that I don't know what the fuck they are, because the movie doesn't want to explain. And I'm sure people say that's a good thing, but to me it didn't leave so many questions. And I'm like, what? To me, that ending especially just took a... Granted, even if the ending was cut and print, serial killer style, I think it would be better, but it would still not excuse the dull characters, dialogue that's not interesting at all. And when it's not on the meat train, as a, well, yeah, it's the meat train. Maybe you can laugh at the CGI overblown carnage. Maybe you can laugh at it and get entertainment out of it. But when it's not those scenes, what do you have to offer? There's not much of a story, and there's not much to anything else. So, I mean, You could probably take all those carnage scenes and get not more than 3 minutes. Not more than. And then what about the rest of the movie? Really nothing. Unless people just love the weird twist ending just because. Even though it doesn't make any sense. And Bradley Cooper, I've seen him do better work. Limitless, voice of Rocket, Hanover. He's done much better work. What was it? A Star is Born? He was good in that. I didn't mind that film. He's done much better work than this. But I don't think you'll have Bradley Cooper talk a lot about this film in interviews and such. Oh yes, Midnight Meat Train. But someone bring that up to him. That'd be a funny reaction. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.